How to stop my cat from biting is one of the most frequent questions echoing in the hearts of desperate pet parents worldwide, especially when that fluffy little paw you love so much suddenly transforms into a small trap of sharp teeth ready to sink into your unsuspecting skin. Have you ever found yourself gazing at your adorable feline purring on the couch and wondering why on earth they insist on using your hands as if they were live prey needing to be hunted? If you're here with me now, I promise that by the end of this journey, you'll not only understand the mysteries behind this seemingly contradictory behavior, but also have a true arsenal of proven techniques to transform your little domestic predator into an even more loving and well-adjusted companion. Before we dive deep into this feline adventure, take a moment to like this video. Leave a comment telling us where you're watching from, and share if your kitty also has this habit of turning moments of affection into impromptu acupuncture sessions, because I'm sure you're not alone in this daily battle against unexpected bites. The plain truth about why your cat bites begins with a deep understanding of the feline nature that pulses within every kitty, regardless of how domesticated they might seem while curled up asleep in their cozy bed. Imagine for a moment that you are a small kitten born into a bustling litter, where from the very first days of life you learn that biting and scratching are natural ways to explore the world, play with your siblings, and establish important social boundaries for survival. This genetic programming doesn't magically disappear when your kitten comes to live in your comfortable apartment. On the contrary, it remains latent, waiting for the right moment to manifest, and when it doesn't, find appropriate outlets. It ends up directed toward the only available prey in the environment, your innocent hands, your unprotected feet, and sometimes even your nose when you lean down to give that affectionate little kiss. Feline behavior experts have discovered through years of meticulous observation that there are at least 7 main reasons why a cat develops the habit of biting, and understanding each of them is like deciphering a secret code that will open the doors to a more harmonious coexistence. The first, and perhaps most common, is the deep boredom that sets in when a cat doesn't have enough stimulation in its environment, leading it to create its own forms of entertainment that invariably involve testing the resistance of human skin. Have you noticed how your cat seems especially prone to attacking your ankles when you've been working from home for hours without giving them attention? This behavior is not a coincidence, but rather a silent cry for the interaction and mental stimulation that your little urban hunter so desperately needs to keep their feline sanity intact. The second reason delves into the depths of the predatory instinct that runs in the veins of every cat, from the laziest Persian to the most athletic, Bengal. When your kitty sees your fingers wiggling under the blanket, or your feet dangling while you watch television, something primitive awakens in their feline brain, activating neural circuits that have been refined through thousands of years of evolution. That subtle movement is interpreted as potential prey, and before you can say meow, your cat is already in attack position, with pupils dilated like 2 black headlights ready to illuminate the path of the domestic hunt. This predatory energy needs an appropriate outlet. Otherwise, it will continue to be directed toward parts of your body that were definitely not designed to withstand the force of a determined feline bite. The third cause leads us to the delicate territory of overstimulation. A fascinating phenomenon that occurs when the pleasure of petting suddenly transforms into sensory discomfort for your cat. Imagine your skin is covered by millions of ultra-sensitive sensors that can go from relaxed to overwhelmed in a matter of seconds. That's exactly what happens with many cats during prolonged petting sessions, especially in sensitive areas like their belly or the base of their tail. What starts as soft purrs and half-closed eyes of pleasure can quickly escalate to a defensive bite when your cat's nervous system reaches its limit of touch tolerance. Recognizing the subtle signs of this transition is an art that every dedicated pet parent needs to master to avoid turning moments of affection into painful encounters with sharp teeth. The fourth reason leads us to the complex world of feline communication, where bites can serve as a primitive but effective way to establish boundaries and express unmet needs. Your cat can't simply say with words that they're hungry, that the litter box is too dirty for their refined feline standards, or that they desperately need your exclusive attention. Instead, they resort to the arsenal of communicative tools that nature has provided them, including those small bites that can range from gentle nips to more assertive attacks, depending on the urgency of the message they're trying to convey. Studies show that cats who bite for communication have often developed this habit because they've discovered it's the fastest way to get a response from their human pet parents, creating a vicious cycle that reinforces itself with each successful interaction. Fear and anxiety form the fifth category of motivations behind biting behavior, revealing a more vulnerable side of our feline companions that often goes unnoticed beneath their facade of independence and confidence. A cat that feels cornered, threatened, or simply uncomfortable with a specific situation may resort to biting as a last defensive resort, especially if their more subtle attempts to communicate discomfort have been ignored. This type of bite is usually accompanied by other clear signs of stress, such as ears flattened against their head, extremely dilated pupils, fur bristling along their spine, and that characteristic hiss that sounds like air escaping a flat tire. Recognizing and respecting these warning signs is fundamental to building a relationship based on mutual trust and deep understanding. The sixth reason leads us to explore the crucial role that early socialization plays in the development of appropriate bite inhibition. Kittens who were separated too early from their mothers and siblings often didn't have the opportunity to learn vital lessons about bite control that normally occur during natural play among littermates. When a kitten bites its sibling too hard, during play, the sibling responds with a sharp meow and stops playing, teaching a valuable lesson about acceptable boundaries. Without these formative experiences, your cat can grow up without understanding that their bites can cause pain, treating your human hands with the same intensity they would use with another cat equally equipped with protective fur and quick reflexes. The seventh and final main reason involves underlying medical issues that can transform the sweetest cat into a little biting demon seemingly out of nowhere. Toothaches, arthritis, digestive problems, urinary tract infections, and a myriad of other health conditions can make your cat irritable and prone to biting as a way to communicate their discomfort or protect painful areas of their body. If your cat has suddenly developed biting behavior with no apparent cause, especially if accompanied by changes in other aspects of their behavior like appetite, litter box usage, or activity level, a visit to the veterinarian should be your first course of action to rule out medical problems that may be causing silent suffering. Now that we've unraveled the mysteries behind biting behavior, it's time to explore the practical strategies that will transform your little biter into a gentler and more well-adjusted companion. The first and most fundamental technique involves consistently redirecting your cat's predatory energy toward appropriate targets. This means always having a variety of interactive toys on hand that can satisfy their natural hunting desire without involving parts of your body in the process. Feather wands that mimic the erratic movement of birds, plush mice stuffed with catnip that awaken their olfactory interest, balls that roll unpredictably across the floor imitating fleeing prey, all of these are valuable allies in your mission to redirect biting behavior. The strategic freeze technique is another powerful tool in your anti-bite arsenal that leverages natural feline psychology to discourage unwanted behavior. When your cat bites, instead of quickly pulling your hand away, which can further activate their hunting instinct, completely freeze your movement and emit a sharp but non-aggressive sound, similar to what a kitten would do if bitten too hard. This reaction mimics the natural response your cat would receive from another feline, activating instinctive memories about acceptable social boundaries. After a few seconds of complete immobility, slowly withdraw the affected body part and completely ignore your cat for a few minutes, teaching them that bites result in the immediate end of all pleasurable social interaction. Environmental enrichment emerges as a third essential strategy, transforming your home into a true feline amusement park that keeps your cat's mind and body constantly stimulated. Strategically placed shelves on the walls create vertical highways that allow your cat to exercise their climbing instincts while observing their territory from above. Scratching posts of different textures and heights scattered throughout the house offer opportunities to mark territory and keep their claws in perfect hunting condition. Cardboard boxes that arrive with your online purchases can be transformed into temporary forts where your cat can hide and plan imaginary ambushes. Running water fountains stimulate hydration while satisfying the feline fascination with movement. Puzzle feeders that require mental work to release food transform each meal into a successful hunting adventure. The fourth revolutionary technique involves establishing structured play sessions that function as programmed outlets for all that accumulated predatory energy. Imagine these sessions as mandatory gym classes for your little furry athlete, ideally conducted 2 to 3 times a day at consistent times that your cat will learn to anticipate with enthusiasm. Each session should last between 10 to 15 minutes and follow the natural feline hunting pattern. Locate the prey, pursue with increasing intensity, capture with a final burst of energy, symbolically kill through bites and kicks with their hindpaws, and finally consume, represented by a small portion of treats or kibble. This complete cycle deeply satisfies your cat's instincts, leaving them relaxed and less prone to directing that energy toward your vulnerable human extremities. The fifth strategy leads us to the delicate but crucial territory of correctly managing petting sessions to avoid the dreaded overstimulation. Learning to read your cat's subtle body language during moments of affection is like mastering a new language full of nuances and regional dialects. Pay close attention to the position of their ears, which begin to move backward as their tolerance limit approaches. Notice how their tail, which was previously swaying gently, starts to whip with more abrupt and agitated movements. Observe the changes in their pupils, which gradually dilate as sensory stimulation increases. When these signs appear, immediately stop petting and give your cat the necessary space to emotionally recompose themselves. Over time, you'll develop a sixth sense to identify the ideal point where petting provides maximum pleasure without crossing the dangerous line of overstimulation. The sixth transformative technique involves the consistent implementation of positive reinforcement to gradually shape your cat's behavior toward gentler interactions. Whenever your cat plays without using claws or teeth, interacts gently with your hands, or chooses a toy instead of your skin as a target, immediately reward that desirable behavior. Rewards can range from special treats your cat loves to extra petting sessions in their favorite areas, or access to special, normally restricted areas of the house. The secret lies in consistency and precise timing, ensuring that the reward is delivered within seconds after the desired behavior to create a strong and lasting neural association. The seventh practical strategy focuses on creating predictable routines that provide emotional security and reduce anxiety that can lead to defensive biting behaviors. Cats are creatures deeply tied to patterns and rituals, finding comfort in the predictability of daily events. Establish fixed feeding times, always preceded by the same ritual, whether it's the sound of a bell, a specific word, or the familiar rattle of the kibble can being opened. Create play rituals that occur at the same times, perhaps right after you get home from work when your cat is eager for interaction. Develop a consistent nighttime routine that signals the approach of bedtime, helping your cat naturally regulate their energy levels throughout the day. The eighth and final main technique involves creating safe zones and strategic refuges throughout the house where your cat can retreat when they feel overwhelmed or need alone time to process stimuli. These zones should be elevated or hidden spots where your cat feels completely safe and in control of the situation. A high shelf in the bedroom equipped with a soft bed and surrounded by non-toxic plants can serve as an oasis of tranquility. A cozy igloo positioned in a quiet corner of the living room offers a ground-level hiding spot for times when height isn't desired. Respecting these sacred spaces and never forcing interaction when your cat chooses to retreat to them is fundamental to maintaining a relationship based on trust and mutual respect. Throughout this entire behavioral transformation process, patience emerges as the secret ingredient that separates success from failure on the journey to eliminate unwanted bites. Remember that your cat has spent months or even years developing these behavior patterns, and changing them requires time, consistency, and deep understanding. There will be days when you feel like you're regressing, when that unexpected bite during a petting session makes you question all the progress you've made. In those moments, take a deep breath and remember that every small victory, every day without bites, every conscious choice your cat makes to play with a toy instead of your hand, represents a step in the right direction. Beyond the practical techniques, there are fascinating aspects of feline behavior and physiology that can further enrich your understanding and strengthen the bond with your furry companion. Did you know that a cat's purr occurs at a frequency between 25 and 50 Hz, exactly the same range that studies show to be beneficial for bone healing and reducing inflammation? In humans, This means that while you patiently work to modify your cat's biting behavior, successful petting sessions not only strengthen your relationship, but may also be providing real therapeutic benefits for your physical health. Another intriguing fact about our feline friends is that each cat possesses a unique fur pattern around their nose, as individual as a human fingerprint. This discovery reminds us that just as each cat is physically unique, their personalities, preferences, and behavioral needs are also deeply individual. What works perfectly to reduce biting in one cat may require significant adjustments for another, and part of the journey involves discovering the specific combination of techniques that resonates with your feline companion's unique personality. The vocal capacity of cats is also truly impressive, with the ability to produce over 100 different sounds, each with specific meanings and intentions. Compare this to dogs, who are generally limited to about 10 distinct vocalizations, and you'll begin to appreciate the complexity of feline communication. Paying attention not only to bites, but also to the different types of meows, trills, purrs, and other sounds your cat produces can provide valuable insights into their emotional state and unmet needs that may be contributing to biting behavior. As our journey through the fascinating world of feline behavior approaches its end, it's important to recognize that in some cases, despite all your dedicated efforts and consistent implementation of the techniques presented, biting behavior may persist or even worsen. In such cases, do not hesitate to seek professional help from a veterinary behaviorist or a feline specialized ethologist. These professionals possess advanced diagnostic tools and extensive experience that can identify complex underlying causes that may be escaping the observation of even the most dedicated pet parent. The path to transforming a biting cat into a gentle and well-adjusted companion is paved with patience, understanding, and unconditional love. Every time you choose to respond with calm and strategy instead of frustration, every moment you invest in enriching your cat's environment, every play session that satisfies their natural instincts, you are building a solid foundation for a lifetime of harmonious companionship. Remember that behind those sharp teeth and retractable claws lives a sensitive soul that trusts you to understand and meet their complex needs. We've reached the end of this in-depth exploration on how to stop your cat from biting, and I sincerely hope that the information, techniques, and insights shared here transform your relationship with your feline friend. If you've made it this far, congratulations on your dedication to becoming the best pet parent possible for your cat. Now I want to hear from you. Leave a comment telling us where you're watching from and share your experience. Does your cat also have a biting habit? Which of the techniques presented are you most eager to try? Don't forget to like this video if it was helpful to you and share it with other cat parents who might be facing similar challenges. Together, we can create a world where every cat and their human live in perfect harmony, free from unwanted bites and full of moments of pure, feline love. Keep exploring the wonderful world of cat care, as each day brings new opportunities to deepen that special bond we share with our four-legged companions.